a salaried employee with taxable income in the financial year 2023 to 24, or we can say the assessment year 2024 to 25, then prepare and collect all necessary return information, unsure of what documents to collect or the process to follow. Hello everyone, I'm Saloni from Team Webtel. In this video, I will be sharing important information for salaried individuals who plan to file their income tax return this year. I will explain the different type of details that are required to file an ITR and the process for online reconciliation and verifications. So stay tuned, and before starting this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel Webtel Electrosoft to get regular compliance updates. First, let's understand what the system for salaried return is all about.
Are you a salaried employee? Because as a salaried employee, it is important to ensure that you have all the necessary documents prepared to file your ITR, as this process is crucial in order to comply with the tax regulations and avoid any penalties or legal issues. First and foremost, you should gather all the relevant documents for filing an ITR. So let's get started. Let's look at the eligibility criteria. So, if you are a salaried person and having the income from one house property, having the income from other sources, having the income from agriculture income but up to 5,000, then you are eligible to file an ITR 1. Now, let's look at the criteria who is not eligible to file an ITR 1. If you are having the income including salary and other incomes exceeding rupees 50 lakh, then you are not eligible to file an ITR 1. Or if you were the director in any company during the previous year, or if you are holding the equity shares of an unlisted company during the previous year, or if you are having any assets located outside the India, or if the signing authority in any account located outside India, or if you are having any income from any source outside India, then you are not eligible to file an ITR 1. And few more criterias are also there, like if your TDS has been deducted under the section 194N. Basically, 194N is related to the cash withdrawn. If you have withdrawn the cash more than 20 lakh in the previous year, or if you have withdrawn the cash more than 1 crore and your TDS has been deducted under the section 194N, then you are not eligible to file an ITR 1. Also, if you are having any income related to the ESOPs, like ESOP means that Employee Stock Ownership Plan. And also, if you are having any brought forward losses or the loss to be carried forward under any head of income, then you are not eligible to file an ITR 1. So these are the criteria in which you are not eligible to file an ITR 1. So let's look at the document. So our first document is Form 16. You can track your salary income details in the Form 16. As Form 16 is a document, or it is a form that will be issued by the employer to the employees in case if their TDS has been deducted on the salary. As it is a vital document for filing an ITR by a salaried individual, because this form consists of the details of the employee's salary and the amount of the TDS deposited by the employer from their salary. And this form consists of two different parts, Part A and B. Form 16 Part A contains the details of the amount of payment, amount of tax deduction, and the amount of tax deposited by the employer during the financial year, and it also contains the detail of the PAN and TAN detail of the employer. Whereas if we talk about the Part B, then Part B of the form consists of the TDS calculations like gross salary, breakup of the salary, exempt allowances, taxable allowances, perks, and other deductions as well. And in case of changing of the employer and TDS deduction, it is important that you need to share the details of the previous employer, salary received from the previous employer, and also the TDS deducted from the previous employer you need to show, and also the deduction with the new employer you need to show in part B. So these are the details that will be reflecting in Form 16. And also, in case if the TDS has been deducted on other than salary, then a Form 16A will be issued by the deductor. Like if the TDS has been deducted on receiving any interest income on the saving bank account, or if any fixed deposit income has been received, or if any dividend income has been received exceeding 5,000, then the TDS will be deducted as per the relevant sections. Then you need to have the Form 16A as well at the time of filing your ITR. Then you need to have the bank account details. As disclosure of all the active bank account are the mandatory in the ITRs, as the bank account details like bank name, account number, IFSC code, and the number of accounts the assessee is holding must be quoted in the income tax return. And one account shall be selected as a primary to assist the income tax department in refunding your tax refund by electronic transfer to such account. Or we can say that you need to select at least one account as a primary account or for the refund account at the time of disclosing your bank account details. As the bank account details are used to check your income disclosures, high volume transactions, etc. These details can be easily found in bank passbooks, checkbooks, statements, net bank accounts, etc. So these are the details that are required related to the bank account details. Then you need to have a bank account statement. As the bank account statement shows the information on the interest earned on a saving account, interest income on fixed deposit, etc., and also the transactions done in the financial year. These are the informations that are required while filing your ITR. Then is Form 26AS. As Form 26AS is an annual tax statement like a tax passbook that includes the detail of all the taxes deposited against the PAN. And these includes the TDS deducted by the bank, TDS deducted by the employer, and if TDS has been deducted by other deductors. Then all these details will be reflecting in Form 26AS. As the Form 26AS should ensure, an individual should ensure that all the taxes deducted in the financial year are reflecting against the PAN in Form 26AS. And in case of any mismatch, you will not be able to claim any tax credit for the TDS deduction. And the same should be rectified by getting in touch with your deductor, by whom your TDS has been deducted. And also you can view the Form 26AS for the relevant assessment year by signing into your account on the income tax department or on the incometax.gov.in website. Then is AIS. AIS stands for Annual Information Statement. As Annual Information Statement is a comprehensive view of the information for a taxpayers that are displayed in Form 26AS. And the taxpayers can provide the feedback on informations that are displayed in AIS. And AIS shows both reported value as well as modified value in case if any feedback has been given under each section, and the details related to the TDS, SFT and other information will be reflecting in AIS. Then is TIS. TIS stands for Taxpayer Information Summary. TIS is an information category wise aggregated information summary for a taxpayer. It shows processed value, that is value generated after deduplication of information based on predefined rules, derived values, that is value derived after considering the taxpayer feedback, and processed value. Under each information category like salary, interest income, dividend income, security transaction, tax information will be reflecting in AIS. And the derived information in TIS will be used for pre-filling of your return if applicable. So these are the details that will be reflecting in AIS as well as in TIS. And recently, AIS app has been launched for the taxpayers where you can access all the information related to TDS, TCS, interest, etc. in a single app. Now let's look at the AIS for the taxpayers app. Type AIS for the taxpayers in the Play Store, and after that you will be able to see the AIS for the taxpayer app. Then you need to click on install to install the app that has been provided by the income tax department for the convenience of the assessees. After that, open the app and then you need to provide few details. After clicking on app, this is the interface of the AIS where you need to enter the PAN number, and after providing the PAN number you need to enter the date of birth, date of incorporation or date of formation. And after providing the details in the main page or main screen of the AIS, click on proceed, and after that a OTP will be sent on the registered mobile number as well as on the email ID. And once you have received the mobile OTP and email OTP, enter. Once you have entered the MPIN, click on confirm. After providing the MPIN again, then you need to click on login, and once you are going to click on login, you need to enter the MPIN which has been set, and this message will appear. Then this is the main screen of the AIS app where you need to click on annual information statement, and after that you need to click in case if you want to have the details related to the TDS or SFT information, you need to check payment of the taxes, you need to check. Then you need to select the options that are given over here, and in case if you want to check the details related to the demand or refund or any other information, you need to check. Then you need to click on menu, and these are the options that has been provided in this taxpayer AIS app. So this is the app that has been provided by the income tax department for the convenience of the taxpayers. Then is if you are a salaried person and you are going to opt for the old regime, then you need to provide the details related to the home loan statement, tax saving instrument, home loan statement from bank, as these are the deductions that you can claim under the chapter 6A. Like if you have made any investment in NPS, or if you are having any donation receipt, you are having any medical insurance premium paid. So all these details are required in case if you are going to opt for the old tax regime, as these type of deductions are allowed only in the old tax regime. And you can calculate your tax by clicking on income tax portal. You can go to the incometax.gov.in portal for your tax calculation, where you need to select the assessment year, taxpayer category you need to select, and after that you need to select the residential status, and then you need to select the age, and then you can enter the annual income. In case if you are having any deductions, then you can show the deductions as well. So these are the documents that are required to file your ITR. And for the tax calculation, you can go to the income tax portal. Here you need to enter the assessment year, And after that, you need to select the type of the taxpayer or the taxpayer category you need to select, and then you need to select the residential status, and also you need to select the age criteria, and then you need to enter the total annual income that has been received. In case if you are having any total deductions, then you can enter the total deduction amount, and after that tax will be calculated, and after that tax will be calculated over here. And also you can use the Webitax software for the calculation. And this is our Webitax software through which you will be able to easily calculate your tax like this. As here in the Webitax software, by default the tax will be calculated as per the new tax regime, as you can see over here. And in case if you want to change the tax regime, like you are going to opt for the old regime, then you can click on change to old regime, as well as you can see as per the old and as per the new. On the both tax regime, the tax has been calculated over here. So you can use the Webitax software for the better tax calculation as well.
I hope you have understood that when filing an ITR, you don't need to attach any physical documents as it is a paperless process. The department verifies your return through several online resources. However, it is recommended that you keep important income and tax deductible documents safe for 7 years. This will be beneficial in case your file is subject to detailed scrutiny by the income tax department. For better comprehension, check out the blog link in the video description box and share it with your friends and colleagues. If you found this video helpful, let us know in the comment section. Also, you can comment if you have any doubts. Give a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Next Tuesday, we will come up with another interesting videos to make compliances better for you. Till then, stay safe and stay tuned with us for a better compliance and enterprise journey.